Welcome to this video on the Zenware channel. My name is Sri Satguru, Buddha Rawa Bhagwan. Today's video we're going to talk about the demons. So there are many different types of demons. There are demons of the mind. But there are many different types of demons. There are also beings that are actually demons. And the beings we're going to talk about specifically is not asuras today. So there are asuras, there are pikaras, there are rakshasas. There are many types of beings, right? Under the control of the main asura families. But there are other beings that are demons in nature, and the ones we're going to talk about today are the shadow demons. So who are the shadow demons? There exist many vidya, right? And Sanatana Dharma is based on this concept of vidya, right? Or darshan, also known as, right? And different sages and saints, and in different cultures, they could be called, in different cases, prophets, or even avatars have come, right? And have added to the wealth of knowledge of Sanatana Dharma. And, well, with them comes more and more knowledge, right? More and more information. So, there are also the stories of the Mayavu, right? The great history of the Maya, of Maya. So in India, it's known that Maya is the illusion. It is everything that we experience, all the materiality that we experience. Everything that is manifest in the material, right? Or in stories and physical shape and form. So it's interesting when one thinks, is only what we see here Maya, or is also the vidya that we experience in our lives Maya as well, right? Part of that illusion. So it's interesting that some people think that they might be seeing past the illusion when they are experiencing spiritual experiences. But is that also part of the illusion? So there is the Mayavu, which is a view of the different storylines. There are the different storylines, right? The Popolvu, right? The Papalvu, the Peoplevu, the Pupolvu, and the Pepolvu. The story of men, the story of gods, the story of spirits, right? The story of demons, and the stories of ancestors and true death. And within the story of demons, there are the demons, the shadow demons. And the shadow demons have their own realm, their own planet, if you want to see it that way, their own interdimensionary planet, existence, realm, where they live. And they have their civilization. And they become more and more powerful and grow. And these shadow demons are the legendary demons that people talk about sometimes in their sleep when they wake up and they have an impression that there's a shadow above them with glowing eyes, right? And sometimes the eyes are recorded as being different colors, so they can be green or red or even blue. Although someone who would probably not remember the blue type. So these are the shadow demons. And who are these demons? These demons are the frontline soldiers of God, right? So they are the scariest of all the beings, pretty much. For they are the demons of the end times. Okay? So in the story of the Mahavu, the Mayavu, okay, the great story, eternal, of the Maya. And know that there was also the Mayan people on the continent of America as well, right? The Mayans. And in the great storyline, there is the story of the Ende, right? And in the end, the forces of God will come to Earth and basically destroy and kill everything, right? It is the end days. And there are also humans walking around the earth, which are commanders of the end days, right? Prepared in case the end day is called. And these individuals often have drips of power, right? So drips of power are drips of empowerment that are given to them. So they can have 1 drip, 2 drips, or even 3 drips at the levels of the top commanders, which makes them very powerful magically, gives them power. So they can be different types of empowered individuals with drips of power. They can even be summoners, which can summon a shadow demon to go haunt someone, right? And that's why you have these hauntings. People wake up in their beds at night, and the shadow demon can either give them a feeling of warmth or of freezing and immobilizing them in their bed, while the shadow demon drains them of their energy, right? So the shadow demons are very feared beings, and they can be called by a summoner who is empowered with drips of power. And there is a hierarchy among the shadow beings. The weakest ones are the green-eyed ones, and then you have the red-eyed ones, which are more powerful. And then you have the blue-eyed one, which are the most powerful, which can even take human shape, so you wouldn't be even able to recognize them. And they can walk amongst the earth in human shape. So these are the blue-eyed shadow demons, which are the highest rank. And they are at the power where they can even take on some gods in power. Take on gods, right? For they are the demons of the end days. And they wait, they have their hierarchy, their military command, and they wait essentially for orders from God to initiate the end days. And they do some little missions in the meantime too for him, and things like that too. And they are part of his armies, so when his armies go to war, also they come to war as well. And all the rest of the armies leave them their distance, because these are ferocious shadow demons, very, very scary. But it's good to have them on your side, because you know you're going to win the conflict, you know. So these are the shadow demons, very, very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. Frontline soldiers of God, right, for the end days. The forces of the end days. And sometimes they come and they haunt people. And once they're on someone, haunted, summoned by a summoner, they never leave that person. And they'll basically haunt and destroy that person and their family. They'll haunt, and they make the person their plaything, basically. They're not nice people, the demons, okay? They're frontline end day soldiers, okay, to destroy everything. So they're not necessarily nice people, okay? If they're not people, that's important to remember that and understand that they're demons, okay, from the storyline of demons. Okay, so that's how it is. And they have a commander above them too, you know, with blue eyes, who's basically like almost like a prince to them, you know, who's right under God in their command, right? And the goddess and the mother goddess, and he's their general essentially. And he leads them to battle, right? And he's quite ferocious and dangerous, and loyal to God. So there are the shadow demons, and they have their realm, which is a kind of like a fire realm, basically. Look at it that way almost, you know. A realm of shadow and fire, right? And they are very, 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 very desolate world, which is harsh and makes them grow strong, right? And they come to battle when they are summoned by God, right? So everybody fears the shadow demons. So this is a little bit of information about the shadow demons. Thank you for listening to this video on the Zen Warrior channel.